now rocking with TDF everything. Spoiled rotten.
Spoiler alert.
Welcome and welcome back, everybody.
Hey.
It's me, Daniel,
And this is Dan.
on Spoiled Rotten. And today, we are going to talk about a movie called Green Lantern, Beware My Power, which I don't feel like should be the name. But
It's a terrible name. I hate the name.
Beware My Power. Isn't it supposed to be like Beware My Might or something like that?
Yeah, Beware My Will, or it's just
I feel like Beware My Power sucks as a name.
It also seems like it's like, are we threatening people now? It feels weird. It feels like a threat.
Yeah, like the oath is supposed to scare the bad guys, so when you turn it on the audience, you're really putting us at a disadvantage here.
It makes me question my life in a very existential way that I was not ready to. No, I'm joking. That didn't happen. But I legit did not like the title because I'm just like, felt like they could have done a little bit better with this. But who am I to know? They're clearly successful in what they do.
I guess so. I mean, they did end this whole run. So
I guess I'm wrong.
They had a good run, I guess.
Yeah.
They kept making things. Yeah. So if people don't know, this is an animated film, like direct to, well, I guess you just say direct to streaming at this point, not direct to DVD or direct to video. And if you look at the packaging, it looks like you're going to go on a Jon Stewart journey.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's certainly there, but it does not feel like they had any confidence in Jon Stewart leading a movie.
Okay, I'm glad that you said that right off the bat, because that's exactly how I felt. I'm like, why isn't the spotlight on Jon Stewart? Because I was legit excited, because I'm like, I haven't spent too much time with Jon Stewart. Maybe this is a Green Lantern that I like a little bit more, and I will share my bias right now. The concept of Green Lanterns being the Galactic Police, I'm like, yeah, you had me at Galactic, lost me at Police.
Yeah.
So it's just like one of those things. I'm like, okay, that's my bias, and but
the space
still wanted to see what Jon Stewart was about.
So yeah, I like Jon Stewart from the Justice League TV show and Justice League Unlimited.
Yes, he was very cool there.
This is decidedly not that take.
Yes, it is not.
Which I don't mean like, oh, how dare they? Like, I was actually kind of excited. I'm like, oh, they're going to do something different. And then I was like, oh, no, never mind. But so the movie is Jon Stewart becomes a Green Lantern and is immediately like, oh shit, all the Guardians of Oa and the Green Lanterns are dead. And most of the Thanagarians, is that what I keep messing up? Targaryen and Thanagarian,
right?
But it's Thanagarians are dead, which is the Hawk people.
Yes.
And they're in a war with the Rainians or the Ronians, depending on who says it in the movie, which gives off big Iran and Iranian. Not that I think they're a stand-in. It's just you can get, some people will be mad if you pronounce it a certain way. So this movie was like, just depending on who it is, they'll say it however. So that had the potential for it to be interesting, where I'm like, oh, he's gonna actually solve a mystery. Like he's actually gonna do some detective work. But they kind of don't lean into that as much.
Yeah.
Especially not with him. And added to his group of people working with him is Oliver Queen, Green Arrow, who I'm just going to say right now is my favorite character in the movie.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's Hot Girl. What's her actual name? Shiara?
Actual Hot Girl?
Yeah, what is, not the actor's name, what is the character's name? Shiara.
Yes.
Shiara Hall. This is, I just watched it. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And Adam Strange, which I found was a very interesting addition. I think earlier this year when the Superman movie came out, we were like, oh, Mr. Terrific. And I was like, yeah, my big thing for Mr. Terrific was the Tom King run Strange Adventures, which is, now that you've seen this movie, you pretty much have a good idea of what Strange Adventures is, which I was like, why are they mixing these two things up. They're not connected, and I feel like it's getting in the way of our Jon Stewart story. But yeah, I don't. I think they did the Adam Strange stuff well, and maybe that's just because I know the story that they keep alluding to. But I was just like, at one point I was like, when are they going to talk about his wife? And then he talks about his wife. I'm like, what about his daughter? Then he talks about his daughter. I'm like, all right, I'm in. Like they're hitting all the things I want them to hit. Sure. But like, but I was just like, but now it's like his story and not Jon Stewart's story.
Yep. I feel like all of Act 2 was just like, okay, yeah, they're on their ship now, so like they're on an adventure.
Shara Hall was a good addition because it's like, yeah, we know from the cartoon that they get together. Not that this movie is entertaining, but it is. You are at least a little bit like, well, you know, I want to see them together, so this is good. And she is introducing them into the main mystery of the movie.
Yep.
But then, and I just like Green Arrow, but also it makes sense because in the comics he had runs with Hal Jordan. So the other thing I didn't mention is that they assume Hal Jordan is dead, but also he could not be dead. And so they're looking for him as well, because the big thing is the ring speaks to Jon Stewart, and he was like, can anyone tell me about the ring? And he's like, yep, definitely. And then immediately takes him to people that want to kill him. Yep. Well, they don't want to kill him. They want to beat him within an inch of his life, being Green Arrow, Vixen, and Martian Manhunter. Which I say, did you not see his ring? And the fact that he was doing constructs and had the Green Lantern logo on him? Like, wouldn't you just be like, hey, do you know how?
Yeah.
Their immediate thing was like, get him. Beat him up. Intruder.
It was a strange choice, because I was just like, okay, he's clearly using the ring, which,
like, they don't not know about the ring. They're like, well, I mean, if you have the ring, it must mean they chose you. They don't make any mistakes. And it's like, and they're like, and yeah, I guess he's not a threat because our things didn't go off. And I'm like, yeah, all things that you should just know.
Yeah, and it's just like, especially for how much Oliver Queen knows about the Green Lantern Corps throughout this whole movie, it is genuinely perplexing that initial fight went on for as long as they did, because I would have expected, okay, maybe Vixen, maybe Martian Manhunter would have had that justification of like, we have an intruder, and then Ollie would actually, I would expect at some point to be like, yeah, let's talk this out for a bit, because he's not faking it. He's legit got the ring, and we know that they don't just choose anyone, and you can't steal them, right?
Yeah. They know that. That's the thing. They know about the rings.
Yeah.
As you said, it's not like he could have stolen it.
Yeah. We can't.
Also, I'm sure there's something where he's like, oh, I wouldn't use that power on people, but why even give him the power? Martian Manhunter can read minds. So it would be very easy for him to be like, what's this guy really here for?
That was my thing too. Is just like, wait, unless they changed his power set in this, which I'm like, maybe they could have, but I'm pretty sure Martian Manhunter can read minds, and I'm like, why wasn't that?
And I feel like it's a go-to thing he does.
Yes,
he's like, okay, I'll do this.
Yeah,
even if he does it to mess with someone, he's gonna like go to it because that's better than killing someone.
Yes,
I don't know.
I would think so. It was a weird choice. And I get it. They were just like, we need some action here, because otherwise it drags. But I'm like, this action doesn't make sense, though.
It's just so long. Also, I did say Green Arrow was my favorite character in the movie, and I mean that. I don't mean that just like because the bar is so low. But it is odd how often they show him shooting arrows and having no effect at all.
Yes.
Like, there's a fight where he just keeps shooting arrows and misses every time, and I'm like, why why not just have it be that he shoots it and it doesn't work? Like, he's, as in, it doesn't affect the person he's fighting. You just had it that he missed every single time.
Yeah, it was weird choice. I'm like, if it was like a situation where it's like, oh, okay, this person has some sort of deflection armor, or like it was super, you could have done whatever, because they were out in space, they were traveling the universe or whatever. As what started off to me as like, oh, okay, they're doing a buddy cop thing. It's kind of clever, because Green Lanterns are cops and all that kind of stuff, in a buddy cop road trip thing. But then they abandoned that in the second act, and I'm like, for the Adam Strange stuff, and I'm like, wait, what? I don't
Yeah.
understand. They had a good thing going because Oliver in this, I really like how jokey he is.
And it is how he's supposed to work with Hal Jordan, of being like
Mm-hmm.
more left leaning, and Hal Jordan being like, I'm a cop. And so
Yep.
like they do love each other, but they have friction.
Mhm.
And this is more friction of, you're kind of annoying me because you're wearing my friend's ring, but
Right.
also I'm a good guy, so I want to help you.
Yeah.
Um, the only time him being ineffectual with the arrows was cool to me was the first time when he hits John with the arrows, and then brings out one that could actually pierce, and he's like, I've got pointy ones too. And I'm like, yeah, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. Because at first I was like, why would you start with the dumb ones? Like,
Yeah. What?
that seemed to do nothing. But then he's like, I got pointy ones too. And I'm like, good, you got his attention, and then you gave him the threat. And then I was like, we're never gonna visit this again. Like, you're just gonna keep missing every time.
Yeah. It's weird. And like finally at the end when he does land his hit at a pivotal moment,
To
you're just
kill.
like, oh, oh, so now you're competent? Like what? Like make it so that it's just like his arrows aren't being like because that's what I like about Green Arrow is like he usually is not supposed to miss and he's really, really good at what he does, but now it's just making him look incompetent. And I'm like, well, why is he a part of the Justice League then if he's
Yeah. So like
incompetent?
the thing I could they don't have enough time to service all the characters very clearly,
Yep.
but like his arc could have been, he's so thrown off at the thought of his best friend dying that
Yep.
he's not hitting the way he used to. But this movie kind of just made it seem like, no, he's just outmatched. This is just this is just the case. You're just gonna watch him be outmatched.
Yep.
Which is
Mm.
a choice. Uh
Yes.
yeah, so there's this whole thing where Jon Stewart feels bad because he killed someone at the beginning, and I'm remembering now that they do the very,
The sniper
for
thing.
2022, just a poor choice of villain for the beginning,
Yeah.
for the opening. I was just like, come on, this,
Yeah, it was
and it's the black guy doing it, which is very real. Obviously,
Yes.
there are definitely black men in the army, black women in the army,
Mhm.
but it just feels really bad to look at.
Mhm.
And they don't show you the end of it till later, or actually don't think they ever show you the end of it, but he is a sniper, and then someone gets the drop on him, stabs him in the hand, and then it cuts to later in life with him with a scar, so you can assume that since he's alive he killed the other person.
Yep.
And that seems to be his issue sometimes in the movie, of like not wanting to kill.
Yes.
But it does feel like it's more there to highlight when we do meet Hal Jordan and he takes his turn.
Because
Because it doesn't really seem attached to him in any meaningful way.
no, it doesn't. Because the thing that was perplexing to me was like that whole first act, like you said, with the military thing, and then you see him out in civilian life in whatever cities he's in and all that kind of stuff, and then he just like as a PTSD like flashback kind of act, he just kind of physically assaults someone, then he goes fight and defend someone, but then the
Mm-hmm.
police are like, "Hey, you're the one that's in trouble," and all that kind of stuff, which is a
He
choice
would have been dead.
again. But then, yeah,
I
exactly.
like that at least the writing was them being like, oh, based on social media, it'll look bad if we do
Yes,
something to him.
yes.
They
But
were
to
just talking about
me,
arresting him. They definitely would have beat him and shot him.
yes.
But I like
And
that the movie was at least aware that like cops would take this all the way. So let's just make it that these two cops, for some reason, care what social media says about them.
yes, and that was good. But to me, I'm like, oh, okay. We're dealing with PTSD and all this kind of stuff, and all. And the moment he's off in space, nope, none of that comes back
No,
again.
he's
And I'm
pretty
just
well
like,
adjusted. He's like, yeah, I
yeah,
figured the ring out. I'm practicing, and I'm
yeah.
like,
It's just
good,
like
because I don't.
what?
Yeah, I wasn't really interested in him not being good at it, especially because I effectively grew up with the Jon Stewart Green Lantern, so I was just like, can you just be good at this already? I don't like that we have to take a step back with you.
Yeah.
I liked the idea. There's a point where we're not really going to do this in order. There's a point where they're fighting basically the Yellow Lantern Corps,
Mhm.
led by Sinestro, and there's the one person that can control you, but he breaks out of the mind control. And I was like, yeah, I just thought that's what we should have been doing, which is like, he got this ring in this short order because of his willpower. Like, he has so much willpower, that he is way more equipped than Hal Jordan to wield this ring, and that because he has that attachment to the army already, that he would be like, yeah, this is my duty to
Mhm.
do this, instead of the lame attempt at humor I feel like they have. Like, it's a tepid attempt at him being like, I don't want this, and I'm like,
Mhm.
just take it, just
Yeah.
just let's get on with it. This isn't even going to be an hour and a half movie. Like, we don't have time for you to, like, deny the call or whatever it is in
The
the
call
hero's
to
journey.
action.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just come on,
It's
just do it, and then we'll just see how come you were chosen so quickly.
Mhm. Like the thing I do like about it is that his logic is like, well, you still need me to pilot the ship, so I'm along this journey no matter what until I can give this thing, which is
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, that makes sense for someone that's actively like, get this away from me, get this off me, and all this kind of stuff. But then it doesn't explain. It's just like, okay, well, you don't want to kill, but then you're going to will the same sniper that you used that caused you so much trauma. What? I don't understand. It's weird. It's a weird choice. And I get that John Stewart, he's actively, and the thing I like about it is like, oh, the ring has a training simulator and all that. It's kind of like a video game. I'm like, great. Explain how he gets good enough to the final fight. That's
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. But the it's just genuinely like, um, I thought you would take more of a pacifist approach where, you're
So
you're using like what Hal Jordan would do, which is like, oh, here's a hand that grabs you and restrains you
but
instead of like,
that is the interesting thing of
mhm,
the difference in Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, is that
yeah,
Jon Stewart is just like, this is what I'm trying to do, so this is what I've created. He
mhm,
doesn't have the imagination like Hal Jordan.
mhm,
I think that's a good distinction. They just don't get to hit on that in this movie,
mhm,
which you would expect this would be the movie where they hit on it,
mhm.
since they have both characters in it, and
Yes,
it's called Green Lantern, but it becomes like an Adam Strange and Hawk Girl movie
yep,
at a certain point, so they don't focus on it. Um, but that is a common knock against Jon Stewart, and I liked that they kept it in there. That
yep,
people are like, why are his constructs so matter of fact? Like, he doesn't do cool things with it,
yeah,
and the idea is because that's not what he's trying to do. He's
mhm,
just trying to be as effective as possible.
yeah. And I like that distinction between the two. I'm not complaining that he's not, but it's just like the idea of like, oh, you know what restraints are aside from like manifesting a hand or something like that. You can still do a non-lethal way if that's the angle that they're trying to take of like, you don't want to kill anymore, because there's that one pivotal part where he manifests like the spear and he's gonna stab someone, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like, no, not today. And I'm like, okay, but then the way they deal with Sinestro is like, oh, you went back on that real fast. It, you know
Yes, yes, yeah. He kills. Wait, does he?
he does,
He
he
kills
does.
Sinestro. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Um.
kills Sinestro by summoning the ring through his chest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
Um. Yeah. As I said, I don't know that they had time to service this character,
it's definitely
but they
seems
put
like they
him all
didn't.
over it as if they are intending for him to be the lead.
Hmm.
But he's kind of just there, and
He's
he
kind
does
of
have an
there.
arc. I'd at least give them that. He has an arc. It's just not well serviced.
Yeah.
And I don't think they thread the needle properly with his whole "I don't want to kill," because it kind of ends with him being like, "Yeah, so what? You killed your best friend. I mean, it sucks, but we should just look at why you did it. That's the important thing." And you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay."
Oh, that's so you went back to Soldier real quick,
Yeah, which is what he is. That's the thing. Is like, this should have just been, he is plug and play. Like, I already know what I'm doing,
Yes.
because they wanted to have this arc, but they were so committed to keeping certain things about Jon Stewart that are true in the
Hmm.
comics and across different media, that it was like, well, if he's gonna end there, I don't know that we have time for him to feel a way about death.
Yeah.
Other than, we guess we could explain it now. How Jordan, I had a sinking suspicion that I was like, well, Hal Jordan, and it is his ring, so they're not going to give it back to him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, are they doing Parallax? And then I was like, with like 10 minutes left, I'm like, yep, we're doing Parallax. I was like, oh my god, why?
Yeah,
We
I didn't
just
like the
did the
fact
whole
that they.
Sinestro thing. Why do we have to
Yeah,
do this now?
yeah.
But yeah, they, like most black characters, when
Mm-hmm.
the white guy goes, uh, not AWOL. I almost used a very insensitive term.
Mm-hmm.
When the white lead breaks bad, I guess is the best way to put it. Like Tony Stark, and in this case Hal Jordan, then the black
Mm-hmm.
guy has to step up.
Mm-hmm.
This is that I feel like this is also the story of like Parallax, and that's when you need Jon Stewart to step in.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I feel like they're gonna do that, which would have been fine if this was a Jon Stewart movie, but we're
Mm-hmm.
not doing that. Like we're trying to figure out who did this stuff, which yes is Hal Jordan ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, but why did we spend so much time on the other stuff then? If
Mm-hmm.
this is what you wanted to get to in an
Yeah.
80-minute movie, like
Yes.
if it was a 2-hour movie, maybe you have time. Like, but I feel the way that people feel, I feel incorrectly about um Harvey Dent in The Dark Knight is how I feel about this Parallax thing of like, well, you just shove that in there, and it only works because I know Parallax has to come. I don't feel like in The Dark Knight where you're constantly hearing, "We call you Two Face, we call you Two Face," because he is Two Faced.
Mm-hmm.
His first scene is him switching on a dime and becoming the evil guy. He just got scarred and lost the desire to keep it a secret, even though it
Yep.
wasn't a secret.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't feel like, oh, they just threw in Two Face at the end of it. He's there the whole time, and it's the whole point is we don't want him to break bad.
Yep.
Oh, he broke bad. That sucked. This is a loss.
Yeah.
This one was just like, I think they're doing Parallax. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing Parallax. Okay, well, we only have 10 minutes left, so I don't really feel like this was worth his time.
Mm-hmm. It it bothered me because I'm just like, yeah, that was convenient writing to shove Parallax in there in the third act and all that kind of stuff. I didn't like it. I didn't appreciate it, especially if you have a Yellow Lantern Corps person that's already doing mind control. You could have just been like, oh, that was the thing. But
Mm-hmm.
nope, because that person dies in a fight, you have to have another reason to be like, oh, this is how he's mind controlled and all this kind of stuff, which is nonsense to me. And my big thing with the whole Jon Stewart thing is I am so confused as to why they're like, okay, yeah, you're going back to that original open scene where he's in Iraq or whatever he's fighting the
Let's hope it's
American
a
war.
made up
Yeah,
DC country. Let's hope it's not a real one.
yeah, let's hope it's not, but it's obviously an allegory for what actually
Yes.
did
Yeah.
happen. But my thing is, I'm like, oh, okay, he's a sniper. He gets stabbed in the hand. So he's now a soldier that can't do what he wants to do. And he, like, to me, it's like, it's such a better setup to be like, he's upset that he can't fight his fights anymore. He's still a soldier, but he's physically incapable because he
And then the
lost his
ring
shooting
saves
hand.
that, or the ring helps him with that. Yeah,
Yes,
like
it
him
gives him
getting
an
the ring is like,
alternative
okay,
route to be a plug and play soldier, like you said. But it's just like, no, we're gonna explore this PTSD angle haphazardly and be like, oh yeah, he's actually a hero and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, this is too messy. It's way too messy. Just make him the fact that he wants to continue fighting and that he's physically incapable of because of the stab in the hand. Doesn't explore that ever again. And I'm just like, what?
So yeah, the way the Hal Jordan thing works, there's two things. One isn't important. I just found it weird, and the second we'll get to. So they track down Sinestro. I feel like by accident, but they do
Absolutely
track him
by accident.
they track him down, and they have to fight the Yellow Lantern Corps, and they realize, oh, Hal Jordan is a prisoner in quotation marks,
Mm-hmm.
and they're trying to help him, and they get put into jail,
Mm-hmm.
and then Hal Jordan's like, it's a good thing I've been digging, and I'm like, okay, and so then they're
Yep.
like, he's like, I just have one more thing to do. There's like a foot of wall between me and what I need to do. And then Hawkgirl gives him the strongest metal known to the DC universe, and I'm like, why does he get to do this? You have it, it's yours. You're very clearly stronger than him if he doesn't have his ring. Why does he need to touch it? But that doesn't play into anything. I was just
Nope.
like, this is such a weird thing that she gave him that knife. Like, she should have been like, here you go. I did it for you.
To me, the moment the Hal Jordan thing stepped in, I'm like, oh, this is a ruse or being played somehow. Because
but
I'm
that's
just
something
like,
it doesn't even play into his ruse.
You're right.
He could have just let her do that, because the whole thing is building up to, we've had these characters be like, you can't kill, don't kill, and then I remember like he hits, I think the mind control. No, I don't care who it is. He hits somebody, and I'm like, oh shit, he just knocked blood out of him. I think that's, he has to be dead, right? And then they're like, oh, you killed someone. I'm like, okay, so we're doing parallax. But also, like, he didn't need, like, he wasn't tricking them by taking the knife and using it later. Yeah. So I was just like, why did he take that from her? By all accounts, it's easier if the strongest person there, who's very clearly a hot girl, takes that knife and does what she needs to do.
Yep. And to me, it's just a genuinely perplexing thing of like, okay, they're clearly being set up. The reason being is that they're all in a cell together and they didn't get frisked. They still have weapons on them. And, like, what kind of half-assed, like, the idea of like, I can only remember and think of that scene in Austin Powers where it's like, oh no, you left me alone with one inept guard. And it's just like, this is the most ridiculous thing ever. Like, how is this actually, nobody thought about anything. And I get why Oliver wouldn't, because he's just like, oh, my friend's alive, I'm distracted by that. But like, the fact that, you know, no one else is like, wait, so they just let us in here all together with the weapons still. Like, what?
No, the weapons are in a different room, but like,
no, I mean the foot weapon, that steel, because that's clearly a knife.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they still have a weapon.
The I guess that is the reason. Again, I don't know why he has to touch it, but I guess that's to tip people off of like, they let her keep that knife. Obviously, this was all meant to happen.
Yep.
But yeah, this should have been another instance of Jon Stewart being like, no, that this is a setup. Because like when they were flying in, he's like, look, this is all built around protecting this one building. Obviously we need to go there. Or like, he always had these moments of being able to use his training to be like, this is where we need to go, or we need to watch out for this. And I feel like waking up in a cell with all of your allies should be a big tip off that maybe something's off here.
Yeah. And then the other tip off too should have been like, wait, so they just keep you in the cell and they can very clearly see the giant hole you're digging, not in like that. I think it's Shawshank, right? Where they're like digging a hole, like hidden behind the poster. I'm like, there is no attempt to even hide the hole. What are we doing here?
Also,
like,
I keep saying cell. I'm not putting that on you. I keep saying cell. When really it's just a wall and they have like laser beams stopping him from coming off the wall. So as to your point, they can see every single thing he's doing.
And I'm like, okay, yep. So you use the yellow lantern ring to make the makeshift cell, but even then it's like, so you couldn't have just like held him in air or something like that and like not give him the ability to move. I'm just like, this whole thing's a ruse. Yeah. This is a ruse. You're getting played. And now Jon Stewart looks stupid because you're the person that's had the military training. You're an outsider. I'm assuming you can clearly assess the situation, and you didn't say anything at all. And I'm like, okay, man, sure, whatever.
Yeah. I don't actually want to get too much into the Adam Strange because I actually want you to read it. But
sure.
The interesting thing, again, kind of like Jon Stewart, where they have this interesting in and then they don't use it, is I don't know any Adam Strange story outside of Strange Adventures, so I don't know if that was like just such a seminal work that people are doing other iterations of it in animation, but or if that's just his stock story. But yeah, the whole Zeta Beam thing, I'm like, yeah, like I feel like they set this up, but in the comic, it is a real issue because he'll be like with his daughter and then be like, fuck, it's happening. All right, bye. I might see you in a couple years. I might see you in 2 days. Like, I don't know. And so like that uncertainty makes it more interesting to have an Adam Strange character. But in this, he's just like, nah, I just get sent away and I don't know where I'm going to go. And it will not come up during this movie at all.
Yeah, it seems like a minor inconvenience more than anything else.
Almost like we shouldn't bring it up at all because it doesn't really factor into this story.
Yep. Yeah, to me it was really really weird because I'm just like, am I giving the Yellow Lantern Corps that much credit that they can control that too? And
No, it's just
no.
I think they're doing it because they need to get to the point where someone
Yes.
is using his DNA or like his DNA
Yeah.
to figure out this thing and what they think is going to help, but it's a weapon to
Mhm.
destroy Thanagar. Uh, that's the right name for sure. Uh, and I was just like, I don't think you can do this in a Green Lantern story, unfortunately, because
Yeah.
there's so much to get into
Hmm.
here with these two warring factions and how Adam Strange plays into it in particular, because they
Hmm.
kept acting as if he was part of Rand, but he is a human.
Hmm.
They just like him because he married the head person's daughter.
Hmm.
And the daughter is an amazing kid, as in the head person's daughter. So Adam Strange's wife, I can't remember, I think they call her Alana.
Hmm.
She's an amazing character. And I was like, I can't believe we just talked about her and we don't see her.
Yep.
That's too bad.
Killed her
um,
off screen. Literally
which
fridged her.
again, which is a choice given how much they're playing off of the
Hmm.
Strange Adventure storyline. I understand if people know Adam Strange and they're like, that's not just dedicated to that, but that's what I'm thinking. That is what's top of mind to me
Yeah.
is that amazing, Strange Adventures storyline.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I was just like, oh well, we're touching on things I'm in just because it's reminding me of a comic I like, but I also just feel like this is getting in the way of our Green Lantern story.
It absolutely is. It feels like a whole different story once we get to Act Two, and it's just like, I thought this was supposed to be John Stewart's story. I thought this was supposed to be a John Stewart origin story. What are we doing here?
Mm-hmm. And it's
Feels
like,
weird.
yeah, he just keeps the ring at the end. There's not really he doesn't go on a meaningful internal journey to get to like we've already said it.
Yeah.
There is an arc. It's very clear what his arc is, but they
Mhm.
don't spend time with it.
No, they don't. And
They're
it's
just
it's
like,
just
there, he did it.
genuinely perplexing to me how, Hal Jordan becomes godlike power toward the end. And I'm
Which
just
is
like,
also
wait,
comic accurate, but I'm just like,
yes.
you only hinted at this once when he overcame
Hmm.
the mind control person. I just feel like people need to comment on it if you're doing an 80-minute movie because then it just feels like disparate things happening as opposed to a plan you had.
Yes, because to me, I'm just like, okay, well, they established the fact that the Yellow Lantern Corps is the only thing that could beat the Green Lantern Corps, like
And
Fear
he's
can
beating
beat
it.
Will, and he's beating it, and no one's like, wait, how you do that? Other than being the goat of all lanterns, apparently.
Because, yeah, the end is Parallax with all the dead lanterns' rings on, still
Hmm.
not being able to beat John Stewart. And I'm just like, this is a good ending if I could feel like you invested in John Stewart
Hmm.
and instead of just being like, he's here and he is good. I mean, the the Guardians didn't make a mistake.
Hmm.
And you're like, but they also set up Hal Jordan being great, and he's got all this extra firepower.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
he's
you did
he's
a much
wearing
better
like,
job of being like, look at how big his statue was. Everyone agrees he's the best lantern.
yeah, he's doing the Michael Jordan ring thing where he's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, I've got six, and then now I've got 12, and now I've got this, and then I've also inherited this yellow core thing, and I'm just like, okay, well, sure, I guess.
Feels like you're just gonna win, but
Yeah.
we know who's on the poster, so so he has to win.
Yeah, he's wearing plot armor. Of course he wins.
Yeah,
It,
it's just one of the things where it wouldn't feel so much like plot armor if we felt more invested in this character. I want to like it, so I'm like, yeah, I understand what they're doing, but I
yeah.
do feel like a lot more care could have been taken.
Like, what's that term for like the person that's just infallible and all that kind of stuff and is good
Oh,
at
Mary
everything?
Sue.
Mary Sue. Like, I feel like this is a Mary Sue situation.
Mary Sue also has to be that everyone likes them, which is not the case in this.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay.
Mary Sue is to just be like infallible, but also everyone's gonna get along with this person no matter what. Just
I
like an
see.
impossibly likable thing, which is yes, I know people. I feel like that term got ruined when Rey Skywalker came on this scene. Sorry, she's not Rey Skywalker till the last movie. But you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that term just got like worn out.
Yeah, it definitely did. And it's I gotta really look at the origins of that term and all that kind of stuff because I'm sure it's rooted in
It's not
misogyny
yet.
too.
It
But
is 100%.
yeah, okay. So that's why I hated using it, but I'm like, it feels like it does the concept, the spirit of it applies.
It
But
would be
the
one
fact that
thing if
the
he
liking
had
thing, yeah.
Green Arrow's personality
Right.
and was good at everything.
Hmm.
Then you would be like, okay. But like in this, most people are like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
We need him.
True. Yeah. They're like, yeah, he's along for the ride because he drives the ship.
Yeah, and he doesn't really have a personality. Like I remember. There's a point where the ring tells him, to avoid further confusion, you just address me as Ring.
Yeah.
And I was happy about that because I was like, why are you talking to it like that? Can you
Yeah.
just? This was all part of my early frustration of why isn't he just good at this, considering how short this movie is.
That I is this like because again I don't know too much about Green Lanterns, but the fact that the ring could talk, is that a thing?
I had never heard of that until now. I think that just comes
Okay.
down to them being like, all the lanterns are dead. Something needs to teach them.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Like all the guardians, everybody who would have taught him, like
Mhm.
Tamora Ray or Abed-Sur or Ball. No, what's his name? Kilowog. They're all
Yeah,
dead. So,
true.
and they were committed to doing the parallax thing, so it couldn't be Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
Which I thought, oh, this will be easy. He can just talk to Hal Jordan. They're like, nah,
No,
we're
you
not
can't do
doing
that.
that.
Yeah.
So they need the ring to talk. But I'm not a Green Lantern person.
Yeah.
As I said, my Green Lantern knowledge begins and ends at I watched Phil Lamar play him in all of those like DC animated universe things.
Hmm. Hmm. I legitimately thought like, oh, okay, now that the Green Lantern Corps is dead, is he going to establish something different, like a different order where they're not so much police and all that kind of stuff? But no, he just towards the end he's like, yeah, I've got all the rings that Hal Jordan had, and I'm gonna make them go and reestablish this order. And I'm like, oh
Which I
no.
feel like you need the Guardians. I was also like, surely the Lantern won't work on his ring. Like they're all dead. I feel like you need. I guess they didn't blow up Oa, but I feel
Right.
like you need like Oa's power for it to work.
Sure.
But it just works, and he
Yeah.
doesn't. I feel like even Green Arrow calls it out where he says you have to say it with conviction, and then he doesn't say it with conviction, and it still works.
Hmm.
And I was like, well, I guess they need the movie to go, but
Yeah.
even in the bad Ryan Reynolds movie, a big part of it is him saying that with conviction.
Yes.
That's the only way it works, and I at least appreciate that element of that movie. But
Hmm.
this just just was like, oh, he said the words, it worked.
Yep.
No point in saying say it with conviction then.
Yeah. It's just like, what's the password? Okay. That's it. Cool. It doesn't matter how you deliver it, which I'm like, I'm whatever. Whatever.
Yeah,
It's like you say, it's 80 minutes. We got to get somewhere.
I know we've talked about this already. Why are they only 80 minutes?
It is
It makes no sense.
incredibly
It
frustrating.
doesn't need to be like in certain like programming block. It's
No, it
just,
doesn't.
you
Especially
just
because it's
rent
straight
it
to
or you buy it.
streaming.
Yeah, you just rent it or buy it and you watch it. And I don't get what the fixation on under 90 minutes is.
It makes no
I
sense to
don't
me.
need these to be like 2.5 hours. It's just
Hmm.
what? Why are you trying to pack everything in, or do these like I think the Crisis on Infinite Earths one is like 3 parts.
Hmm.
And I was just like, oh boy, it's not worth it.
Yeah,
Or they
it's
break up. Yeah, just the way they break things up. I'm just like, I don't understand this commitment.
yeah.
It is hurting your ability to tell the stories. Not obviously, not all of these are bad. We've
Yes.
like some of them, but this one definitely suffered
Hmm.
from adding too many characters, knowing that
Hmm.
I'm sure by 2022 they know we're only doing an 80-minute thing. So
Hmm.
I don't understand the idea of doing this whole bait and switch of, you want a Jon Stewart story? I'm like, yeah, sure. That's kidding. He's just in it a little bit.
Yeah, it's genuinely perplexing because I can get the idea of having like 80 minutes for the three-parter crisis thing that you said. I'm like, cool. It's not good for storytelling, but they're clearly milking it for money.
Hmm.
In this situation where you're doing a one-off and you're like, you can afford to have 15 more minutes. Like we're please just give us 15 more minutes and flesh out some of the I think good concepts that you raise up in the beginning. But then you just abandon halfway through, and then you can also be like, hey, let's actually explore and flesh out some of these relationships with, everyone and all that kind of stuff. Like the fact that uh, Hal Jordan and Oliver Queen being such great friends and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you really didn't grieve the process properly that Hal Jordan's dead now, like for real,
Well,
for
he
real.
killed him.
Yeah,
It's like, that was the other thing, is we hinted at earlier, but yeah, uh, Oliver Queen has to kill Hal Jordan
yeah,
because I don't know.
because everyone
It was
was like,
supposed to
yeah,
be
you're
his
not a
big
real,
sacrifice. It
yeah,
was supposed to be that's basically what Jon Stewart comes down to. Like, yeah, you went against your morals and killed your best friend, but it was for a good reason. He was a
yeah.
shitty guy now, right?
But now I'm safe, so you
I
know,
was I'm not even someone who's like, oh, heroes shouldn't kill
yeah.
in these fictitious things.
Mhm.
I was just like, what? This doesn't seem like the ending or the last thought you want people to come away from in a movie
Yeah,
like this, is it? He's like, look,
yeah,
you killed your best friend, but you did it for a good reason.
yeah. So, you don't have any trauma from that. You're
He's like,
just
listen,
good.
I forgave myself for killing that person at the end of the movie and killing Sinestro, so just forgive yourself for killing your best friend. It's the
Yeah,
same thing. You
yeah,
see how this is the same thing for both of us?
yeah.
Just be okay with it.
Yeah, and I like the idea that they're like, okay, you're setting up visual similarities between what he had to do in the first sniper scene and all that kind of stuff, but it means nothing because it's just like you didn't show us the end of that, and you would think that if you're in the same situation, you would make the different decision that you would have done in the first place that you're so clearly traumatized about. Nope, we don't see the end of the first thing. He's just
Yeah, I
like, oh
just
yeah,
assume he
we
used a pipe because of that
yeah,
pipe that he formed, that you mentioned he formed
yeah.
to kill the nameless uh yellow corp person. I
Mhm.
genuinely don't know any of those characters' names. I'm like, I know Sinestro. Am
Yeah.
I supposed to know any of these other characters?
I mean, it didn't seem like it did. I'm just like the woman that was doing the Yellow Lantern Corps stuff. I'm like, she's got a great design.
Yeah, she's
Wish
cool.
we actually treated her like a person and a character. Like
Hmm.
it's just like, okay, you're just like a henchling as far as I'm concerned to Sinestro at this point. Because it's just
Yeah,
Sinestro and then like friends that are Yellow Lantern Corps and they visually look cool. It sucks because even the Black Order got more to do. And,
agreed.
yeah.
Agreed. I
But that's a movie that got the time to explore the
Yeah,
ideas they
it's an
wanted. So that's
over
not a
two and a
great.
half hour movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, people could know their names, even though I never remember all of their names.
Mhm.
You could know them, and they have many storylines throughout.
Mhm.
Well, two of them do anyway. Like, I
Mhm.
remember it was only until like the fifth time I'd watched it where I was like, "Yeah, these two are married." Oh, I didn't really clock that, but it was there for me to learn if I was so inclined. This, I'm
Right.
like, I don't know what this is. I don't know who these people are.
Hmm.
Maybe
Hmm.
I should rewatch it, but I won't. But maybe maybe that's the moral of this story. I should
Yep.
rewatch it.
I don't know. I
I didn't even
personally
have I
myself.
had my phone on the other side of the room, so this movie had my complete attention, and I was like, I don't know who these
Mhm.
people are.
The only thing that distracted me was the dog that I'm dog sitting right
Mm,
now, and I'm just like, oh, because you're getting into something that you're not supposed to. But even then, I'm like, I rewound at the 30 seconds that I missed. I
hmm.
saw everything here, and I'm like, no, I don't. I think my assessment of this is pretty accurate. I really think they just rushed through a lot of different things and just had to wrap it up real quick.
Yeah, maybe these are character designs that everyone knows that knows Green Lantern, so it doesn't really
Mhm.
They don't need to tell us, but it would have been nice. But considering the real bad guy is Parallax, I guess we would have just been wasting time with that too.
True. True.
I know we've been saying we should have fleshed out the characters out, but to me, if you're doing Parallax, he can't just be the last 10 minutes.
Yes, I agree. I hate when it's like, oh, the real enemy is introduced in the last little bit. It's just a writing cop out to me. I really, really hate it.
Especially since he'd already killed, or who the ostensible lead is,
Mhm.
was John Stewart, has already killed Sinestro,
Mhm.
and silently been like, it's okay to kill if it's for good reason.
Yep.
So he's already kind of just landed on his resolution of his story,
Mhm.
and then you're like, oh no, we still got to do Parallax stuff.
Yep.
And Adam Strange is going to do a Zeta Beam thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So it just feels like, well, this really came down to Adam Strange then.
Mhm.
Not really John, like, as we said, John Stewart fights Parallax, but it is Oliver Queen who has to take him out.
Yeah.
And if you care at all about it, you care that this was a big deal that someone had to kill their best friend.
Yes.
So that trumps any, like, John Stewart's the lead.
Mm-hmm.
You just are like, well, you don't really seem involved in the end of this movie.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, cool. Hal Jordan gets the emotional arc. I mean, sorry, Oliver Queen gets the emotional arc, not John Stewart. And I'm like, listen, why'd they do him dirty like that? Why they, why they just like really just sideline him in his own thing? Because I'm like, I was so excited to be like, yeah, let's get to know John Stewart a little bit more. And then also, because we've been reviewing a lot of animated stuff lately, it's very worthwhile for me to point out. I love the animation style of this. This was to me
Okay.
so good looking and like awesome and all that kind of stuff. It was such a visually good thing because we had done the Batman Ninja one where it's like anime drawing, and I'm like, yeah, not into it. Then
But
we
I
did like
was.
the Bat Fam where I'm just like, is this a joke to this? I'm like, oh, thank God we're watching something that I can visually really, really dive myself into. And then I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this lacks so much substance.
Yeah, I really was hoping that with, like, I don't know if it got pushed back or forward, but with the Lantern show coming out next year, we could
Mm.
have some kind of like in and
Mhm.
set ourselves up the way we were covertly laying the track for the Superman movie with what we were covering.
Yep.
But this didn't really feel like it was interested in. I mean, I guess I should have known when they're like, no, they're all dead. It's just John Stewart. I was like, oh, we're not really going to get into the lore then, I guess.
Yeah.
But no one's going to be able to share that with him, and he doesn't want to talk to this ring.
Yeah. It's weird.
So that was a bummer. But as I said, at least I was like, oh yeah, I remember Strange Adventures. That was a good book. What a great time reading that.
Yeah. It's, I genuinely am perplexed by that decision. And now I got to read it because I'm just like, yeah, if you say it's good, I know it's good. And then the challenge is once I know that story, I'm gonna be even more upset about this.
That's the thing. And I should also give credit where credit's due. Andrew from Geek Heart is the one who put me onto that
Mhm.
story, and I appreciate that he did that.
Shout out Andrew.
Yeah, but not he, that story, I don't know. Like, because I'm not a Adam Strange fan, I don't
Mhm.
know if that's just like a take the same way that people like to say that the Killing Joke is canon, even though I think there's a lot of times where people are like, it's not canon. It's just sometimes people borrow from it
Yes.
for certain aspects.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that's the case for this Strange thing, and I'm just putting too much respect on its name by being like, no, that's the Adam Strange I like, and I saw elements of that in here. Or if that story is just riffing on things that people already know about Adam Strange and
Right.
told a different story. So I don't know. Like, I just know I like it, and
Mhm.
there was elements of it in this
Mhm.
enough for me to be like, I get what they're doing with him. I don't know how accessible a character he is if you don't have back uh, that backing though.
Yeah, me not I can speak to that because I don't have that back knowledge about Adam Strange and all that kind of stuff. I was genuinely like, who's this dude? I've never heard about him in my life and all that kind of stuff. And just like whatever they're trying to do, I'm sure it's important, but it feels like they're also rushing through it. So it
Mm-hmm.
feels weird. But then it
Yeah.
also feels right that he's not getting the spotlight in a Jon Stewart led thing.
But
But
he's such a
then when,
big character that you're like,
yes,
why are
it's
you taking
pivotal
away?
around him.
Yeah.
He prevents the whole planet getting destroyed at the end through the sacrifice. And I'm just like, they re they really didn't know where they're going with this, did they?
I think they did. This felt like more of like a we know what the end is, and now let's see if we can
We just
reverse
got to get
engineer
there.
this.
Sure. Yeah.
And they probably hit a couple of points where like, who cares? We already know what the end is.
Mm.
I don't. I came into this way more positive, and the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, no,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
I'm sliding down, especially because I'm like, I. The other thing that I think was really, really great about this movie too was the voice acting. I think they all did a really, really good job.
the big reason I liked Green Arrow was Jimmy Simpson as Green Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
I say that vaguely remembering some disturbing things I heard about him, and I don't know if I'm misremembering. So I'm just gonna leave it at this was a good performance and
Yes.
not give any praise to anyone outside of yes, I like the Green Arrow performance.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think Shara Hall was good. I liked Martian Manhunter. It was really hard because growing up, that was Carl Lumley, who also plays Isaiah Bradley
Mm-hmm.
in the MCU, and everyone loved that. It was like, oh, is it going to be hard to listen to someone else? I'm like, no, he's not doing Carl Lumley, but he is
Mm-hmm.
doing a good job with Martian Manhunter
Mm-hmm.
outside of not using his mind reading, but that's not the actor's fault. Uh, I thought Vixen was good for the time she had. I
Yep.
would say that the performance I like. Well, I don't really like the Adam Strange performance, and I don't love the Jon Stewart one, but that's because I feel like it's too sparse.
Yeah. I don't think that has anything to do with what Aldous
Well, no, but
Hodge brought to
like
it. I just think it's
I don't like his take, and I know that's the way it's written,
mm,
but I just find that the authority in Phil Lamar's voice
mm,
works better for me for this character specifically for like when you hear that authority in his voice and you see the constructs he makes, it kind of helps tie that together without
gotcha.
outwardly saying it.
Mhm.
Versus this was a little too. I mean, Sinestro even says you bring a new meaning to Green Lantern. Like, yeah, you're a little too new to it
Mhm.
for me to believe that you would just automatically go to no, just straightforward gun and not try some stuff.
Mhm. Mhm. That's
If he
fair.
felt more of a fully formed person beforehand,
Mhm.
I would go along with it a bit more. But because Aldous Hodge is trying to be like, well, this is an origin story, I'm just like, you aren't given enough to do for me to feel truly connected to this take.
Yes. Yeah. That. Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. Because when I finished watching this, I was like, "Is there? There's got to be some stuff that I like from this." And I was like, "Yeah, the voice acting was good. The
Yes.
animation was good." But the fact that I wanted a Jon Stewart thing, like I wanted to know the character a lot better because all I know is really Hal Jordan when it comes to Green Lantern. And I'm just like and Jon Stewart from the Justice League show and
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I thought they were gonna give me something different. And they did, but I'm just like, well, I want more of it.
Yeah. I wanted more of it, and I mean the good news is he went on to play Hawkman,
Yes.
right? Yeah, so
Yes, he
that's
did.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So he's
So he
in
got
the failed DC EU.
yeah, but he got two bites at the apple in terms of the superhero stuff. So
Yep.
and that's not even his movie, and I think everyone agrees he's really good in it.
I agree. Yep.
I
Yep.
think everyone was like, I would watch him do that again.
Yep. 100.
So
percent
that's good. It's not good that he's never going to get to do it again, but it is good that this was him, testing the waters, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he's done other voice work. It seems like he would have this, but I like that he got to do it on the big screen as well. So I
Yes.
don't feel as bad saying it wasn't my favorite performance of the ones that we got because
I mean, that's fair.
because I know he did better elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely true. He has done better elsewhere. But I'm just trying to find the silver lining. That was definitely the silver lining. It's not going to reflect in my judgment of it, my grading. I'm just going to be like, no, I did like some stuff. It wasn't like a complete disaster, but it was
I
just
didn't
not.
even feel like getting my phone, so it's not like I was bored while watching it. It was more just, oh, we're not doing that. Oh,
Yep.
no, we're not doing that. Oh,
That's
we're
how I
doing
felt the whole
this.
time. I'm just like, wait, we have so many things set up that just aren't being followed through with. So many interesting things. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
oh,
liked the
man.
trio of Green Arrow, Hawkgirl, and Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
The people who know what they're doing but aren't necessarily aligned, either having to take on the new guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Adam Strange stuff just throws it all off. And
Yeah, it
then
does.
they bring in Hal Jordan, and I'm like, well, now's the time for him and Oliver Queen to sort some stuff out. That's not going to happen because he's Parallax right now. He's not even himself. Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. And I didn't know the Parallax storyline, but I was just like, some ain't right.
I didn't think of it until he killed the character. I was like, oh,
Right.
that's what we're doing? Oh, no. I was like, I already kind of just want this to be done. I don't really. And then I was like, oh, there's only like, by the time they commit to it, I'm like, oh, well, I already didn't want this to happen like 10 minutes ago. Now we still have to do this? Oh.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to leave it like as a cliffhanger or something, which, not that I would like that better, but I was like, as soon as I was like, oh, they're going to do Parallax, I was just like, this is already going to feel too long. This is not going to feel like a properly paced movie to me.
Mm-hmm. No, it's too rushed and it's heavily inconsistent because like the part that does drag on is when they're on the planet, the Green Lantern planet, Oa or whatever it is, and they're like in that hall of like all the Green Lanterns and they have the statues and all that. I'm like, yeah, they could have really rushed through this part. I didn't need this, especially because you have the ring that can give all the exposition that you need. It's just like, why are we
They
doing
just
this?
needed to show how big the Hal Jordan statue was.
Yeah, that was weird. I was like, all
I was
right,
like, I
he's the
don't
greatest of
remember
all
him.
time, but why y'all have statues? This is weird.
But I guess that just shows how much I don't know about Green Lanterns. That I was like,
That's true.
I know that Hal Jordan is like the main one based
Mm-hmm.
on historically who we had.
Mm-hmm.
Because who's the other guy? Hal.
Guy Gardner.
No. I mean, before there was a guy before Hal Jordan that was a Green Lantern. He's completely different look. He had like the red and green suit. Now I gotta look this up. Alan Grant. Is that? I don't know. Is that Jurassic Park?
That is Jurassic Park.
Oh my goodness! Hold on. There was a guy before him, and
Really
then they
human?
retconned him to be Alan Scott. There we go.
Oh,
And then they retconned him to be gay, which is nice, but they killed him off anyway. So
yeah.
so like I just know like okay, there's Alan Scott, then Hal Jordan. So just by the history of the publication,
Mm-hmm.
he's like the guy. But I didn't know that because from everything I've read, especially in the Absolute universe, which I know is different, they're kind of like reinforcing this movie of like, I mean, Jon Stewart's the guy. If you're talking about Green Lanterns needing to have willpower, he's the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I just didn't know that Hal Jordan was loved like that by the in-universe Guardians and Lanterns.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my own thing. I'm not saying that's not the case. I just was like, oh, I just thought he was like white and came first. I didn't realize people actually are like, no, he's the best.
Yeah.
I thought it was way more open to people being like, everyone can have their favorite. But I didn't realize it was like, no, like everyone likes Hal Jordan in universe.
Yeah, I didn't know that either, which sure, but to me I'm like, and is that supposed to build me up so that when I see Hal Jordan, I'm like, oh yeah, everyone's saved? Because that's a terrible idea. It's a Jon Stewart thing. So I'm like, if we're doing that, then why is Jon Stewart here? maybe he gets his wish and he gets to give the ring back, but that's a terrible idea.
No, I was like, this movie can't end in him giving the ring back to Hal Jordan, and I still didn't think they were doing Parallax until he killed him, and I'm like, oh. But I was like, oh, it'll be nice for Hal Jordan to be like, yeah, I'm done with that. Like, I know that that's not what the movie is. I'm not trying to rewrite it. In my head, I was thinking, oh, this is the him passing the torch movie.
Yes, that's what I thought it would be too.
He can learn what he needs to learn from him, and Hal Jordan can be like, yeah, the world's in a good hands now, because that's the other thing, is there's way too many human Green Lanterns, considering you're supposed to like look after complete sectors of the universe.
Right.
And it's like, well, there's like 6 you could name of human Green Lanterns, so like, do they all need to just be looking after Earth?
It's a weird choice for sure, but hey, it's the choice they made.
Yeah.
And
if we wanted it better, we should have made our own movie, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm joking. Anyway, do you want to rate it, or do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, let's rate it. I don't think I have anything more to say.
Nothing constructive. All right, well, I'm going to give it a 5.5.
Yeah, I'm at a 5.
Perfect. Just there was a lot of good things that I thought about, but the more we talked about it, the more I was like, it's not actually in the movie. I was just thinking about it while watching the movie.
Yeah.
So there we go. Not a complete mess, but certainly does not live up to what I was hoping I would get. It didn't do what it said it was going to do on the tin.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for listening, everybody. If you want to hear all of our episodes, you can go to tdfeverything.com/spoiledrotten, or you can go on any podcast platform of your choice. You can rate, review, subscribe, share with your friends, do all that good stuff. If you want to get in touch with us, we are at TDF Spoiled on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Lemonade, and YouTube. And you can email spoiledpodcast@gmail.com. So get in touch however you like and spread the word. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
This has been a TDF Everything production, brah.